than what I ever thought. Like,
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
What do?
Hello, welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Big E is here. How are you, my friend?
Greetings, Miguel. I am well.
Good to see you. Good to see you as well, E,
Thank you.
on a very, very special day.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
Surprised to see you came in today.
Jesus Christ. Damn it. I thought maybe you guys hadn't noticed.
39 years old today. E.
I thought because no one said anything that you guys didn't know, and that was going to be my game plan.
he gets that weird look on his face.
Whatever.
It is E's birthday. It was
Yes.
39 years ago today exactly that he was almost choked out by an umbilical cord
I don't remember
popping
what-
out of his mom's vagine.
I do not remember the time, so sorry, but
Did you come out of your mom's glorious vagine ass first, head first?
I don't know.
Was it
I
a
haven't
C-section?
asked- I actually think it might have been, but I'm not sure. One of us was for sure, so I don't
Yeah.
remember if I was or not.
They probably detected fetal distress and went in for it.
Maybe.
Did what they could to salvage.
Well, they've done what I mean, at least I've survived. So
Your mom's innards have been trying to kill you for 40 years now, E.
You're. Oh well,
Yeah.
whatever.
What are you going to do to celebrate? Are you
Nothing.
going? Is the Fady family going out to dinner? You
We're
getting
going
your
out-
favorite meal made? What's
We're going out
on?
to dinner. I didn't even really want to do that, but whatever. I guess I didn't. I
You
actually
gonna-
didn't even realize I had made plans with somebody last week to do something today.
TCG.
No,
What happened to
just somebody.
TCG?
Oh, they're on the outs.
No,
It happens.
that's not true. He's just really busy, man. I'm really busy, and he's really busy, as I've said several
It's not
times
me,
on the
Eric.
show.
It's not me, or it's not you, Eric. It's me.
Yeah, sure,
It's doing that thing.
whatever.
Where are you going for dinner? In case some
Uh,
listeners want to pop by and say hello, wish you happy birthday.
I'm not gonna tell you where.
You gonna be allowed to drink a beer?
I will.
Not yet.
I
I'm
don't
still
know.
too young.
I'll be able to have one if I want, but I don't know that I will. I'm not sure. I
Nana
haven't
going?
decided yet.
It's Nana going.
Of course. Hell yeah.
Yeah, she has to.
Kick
Unfortunately,
ass.
I don't even want. I don't
Can
know.
you take a family photo for us?
Problem? I could do it, but I'm not going to put it on the webpage. So, I mean, I could do it for you
Just
guys.
for us.
I
Yeah.
still want to see Nana. I just want to see
Maybe
Nana.
I'll do it for you guys.
I'm kicking
but I'm
myself
leaving
that
it
I
on my
didn't
phone. I know,
go
that's your own
downstairs
fault.
and see Nana.
Picture
don't
with
even have to go
their
downstairs. You
shower cap on with
you
the
didn't even-
curlers underneath.
Oh, hell yeah.
You
The
wouldn't,
house
have even,
coat.
you wouldn't have even had to go downstairs.
I
'cause she
picture her
doesn't
looking
even-
into a hand mirror.
It's not even
just
possible for her to
shaving the
be
lightning bolt.
downstairs. So you wouldn't have
No.
even had to see that. You would have just had to walk 20 more feet, maybe,
Yeah.
and you would have seen it. But I don't know. I mean,
Seen
whatever.
it.
But yeah, I can't believe I just said that. I don't usually say seen it. I can't believe I just said that. That's embarrassing.
Why?
Just because I don't usually say seen it.
Oh, you're not embarrassed that you said it as in your grandma. You're embarrassed at your grammatical error
Yeah.
and
Oh,
scene.
I didn't even think about the fact that I referred to my grandma. I don't care about that.
Oh, I
No.
thought he was. I
No,
thought he was.
you thought he had a heart for a second.
Yeah, for a second, I'm
Please,
like, why
please.
is he so caught up on this?
No, I didn't care about that. No, dude, that's my point though. It was so far off my radar that I'd planned to do something with somebody originally. Then all of a sudden yesterday, my mom, I had to be like, oh yeah, I guess I'm going out to dinner with my family because it's my birthday. So maybe
Yeah.
next week. I didn't
Where
even-
do you know where you're going?
You're
yet?
going to
Yes.
Frankenmuth, aren't you?
No, I'm not driving all that way. Although
Where you
I
going?
wouldn't mind it.
Tell us where you're going.
Luckily, there's two locations in the area, so they could be different places. So I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
People don't know exactly where it is. You know what's ridiculous is I usually go to always Fridays because I like TGI Fridays because of their they have this Jack Daniel's sauce I really like on their burgers.
You sound like my dad. My dad likes TGI Fridays.
No, dude, it's not because I know it's a very cliche restaurant, but it really is solely for their Jack Daniel's sauce, and they've sold it in stores, but it's not even close to as good as it is at the restaurant.
Right.
In my opinion, but I will say we're going to Johnny Carino's. Even though I worked there when I was in Holland, I don't get to eat there that often, and I like their food. So,
So where is that even?
there's a few.
I've
People can
never.
I've
I'm not even.
I've
familiar
only
with it.
heard him talk about it in
There's a
Holland.
few.
What is it?
It's just it's a faux Italian restaurant. You know,
Mm.
it's not really as good as Cabrera's or whatever the other one is.
Really? You think that's good?
I don't know. From what I hear, I think they were better than Johnny Carino. Not that I gave a shit when I was working in Holland, where whether like the Italian was good enough or not, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I do like a few dishes there. So,
But you'll of course go to the location closest to your Milford home. I mean,
well,
why
there's
wouldn't
two,
you?
There's two that are equal close.
Equidistant?
Pretty
Really?
much.
Mm.
What
time-
One's closer.
I mean, what time do the Fades usually step out for a night of
Could be
fine
Could
dining?
be any time.
Given Nana's schedule, I would say right around 6.
It could
Six-ish.
be any time of the day.
Between 6 and 7, you're thinking is a safe bet.
That's a safe dinner bet, I'm sure.
Johnny where?
Carino's.
Johnny Carino's.
But there's two locales and they're equal.
I mean, if
distance
people
from
wanted
our
to
house.
show up there and snap a picture of Nana or whatever, and they posted it, it's not on us. It's certainly not on Eric.
I suppose not. I suppose not. If you do, if someone were to, for some reason, decide they're going to randomly, because there's two. So if you're going to show up at one of these just hoping that we're there, take the picture, but please
Please don't
tell,
bother. This is important
don't,
family
don't
time
tell my
for you.
no.
Yeah.
All I care is don't tell my mom I said that we were going to Johnny Carino. Like, just pretend you happen to be there, and then do whatever you want after that. I don't even care.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
That's all I ask.
I might go. I've never met the Fadies.
John, well,
Oh,
for
they'll
you,
freak
that'd
you
be
out.
quite a drive for you, Jay.
Yeah.
Both locales.
Mm.
I want to say, by the way, I wanted to say something. I wanted to follow up on. I don't know if this is technically the Astronom couch, but something that I referenced a week or so ago, and about
Well, this is more than a week, but
right
you're okay.
2 weeks ago, about an image of a dirty vagina. And I hope I didn't build it up too much. So I hope you guys are going to look at this and it wasn't built up too much,
Ugh.
because here it is.
Oh, you have it? You
I
have
do
the actual.
have it.
Now
this
reset
is-
this for us, E.
Okay, so there's a friend at work at my other job that was going on about it's so crazy now, dude. By the way, the idea of showing nude pictures, it is nothing anymore. And these girls, he every Saturday he has something from one of his friends. He's like, oh, one of my friends, look at this or something. This
Like
chick's-
dudes, girls.
chicks are
just
always
chicks
chicks.
exclusively?
I'm never looking at dudes. But
Well, I didn't know if it was a comic thing, like, hey, check out this hilarious video, and you open it up and it's the King's dick. or
No,
something.
no,
Like,
no. It's
burned
always,
again.
No, they're always like titty pictures and shit. And
Yeah.
it's really nice looking at 19 to 20-year-old titty pictures every Saturday,
Agreed.
by the way.
Agreed.
But anyway, so he was showing me this dirty fucking one that, oh my God. I don't know. Look at,
I don't want to see this. You
I'm
you
sure
guys
it's
got
not-
me with the
real
two girls,
quick.
one cup
No, dude,
last
I'm
week.
sure-
That was
Huh.
on Dog. I want to make that clear
gonna
that
tell
I
you
did
right now.
not recommend that video for you.
looking at it, I'm sure it's not the dirtiest thing you've ever seen, but to me, it was way more dirty because this wasn't a blue
It was supposed to be
waffle.
hot.
Well, it wasn't a blue waffle. And it was, even though I don't know this dude or this chick, it's a real person to me. It wasn't just someone on the internet where I was like, oh my God, this is like the top 10 worst vagines. So you know what I mean? So that way to me, it meant it was disgusting more.
Yeah. So the story goes that she was sending him a hot crotch shot, and
to
he
get
noticed
him in
that
the
it's a
mood.
giant hairy butthole.
Well,
and-
my friend noticed it, then showed it all to all of us at work. And
of
we
course.
all
See
just-
what happens, ladies.
Yeah.
You think you're doing something
Nothing
nice.
you send is gonna stay. You can sit there all you want and say, now you're gonna keep this just between us, right? It will not be just between us or you. It will be between.
If Beth were to send me a nude, it would stay between her and I.
Okay,
Just for the record.
but that's a little different.
Jay, I'm assuming if Gab sent you something, you wouldn't.
Indeed.
Okay.
But that's a you. Guys
I
are
understand
under
what you're
different
saying, though. A
circumstances.
19-year-old
You're talking 19-year-olds that are
girlfriend,
hooking,
yeah.
or if not even girlfriends, girls you're just hooking up with.
Yep.
So anyway,
Dude, you're basically doing the equivalent of saying smell my fart. I'm not looking at this.
Dude, you have
No.
to. You have
Just look
to.
at it.
No,
Just
this is a smell my fart. God damn it. Dude.
what do you think? Is this as bad as I described?
It's
or-
worse, dude. It's worse to get it off. Put it away. That is a disaster of epic proportions. That is borderline blue waffle. That is hideous.
What was she thinking? What was she thinking?
Wow.
Some people's
And you know
nether
what?
regions.
What's great is that he showed me an image of the chick, and he's like, "Dude, you look at this chick. Not that you would ever look at a chick and think like, oh, I bet she has a good vagina or a dirty vagina." But there's ones that you could say there's there's chicks you
I
can
think
look
you
at.
definitely look at chicks and think that. Ugh,
But
wouldn't
I'm
wanna
saying,
see
but if
that.
you're walking in the mall, you could find good-looking girls that probably just for whatever reason don't keep track of stuff and you wouldn't think about it. But like he showed me the picture of this chicken. She's a cute girl.
I'd rather see his nude picture than that.
I know.
I'm not even sure what I was looking at, dude. That was just.
Oh, I'll show you.
No,
yeah, show him again.
No,
Really,
dude,
really quick.
I'm not smelling your fart again. No,
Look at it. You follow the trail, Jay, down. That's an extremely long taint.
I don't even want to look at it myself.
That taint is too long. And purple. I've never seen a purple taint before. It's weird. I'm just saying I haven't. I'm just declaring that I haven't seen one before.
Purple.
It is. There was some purple hue in there.
Oh my god.
Speaking of weird nether regions, dude, I walked in yesterday and there's Monster, the cat, your tabby cat, laying on her back as she typically will do in the middle of the room.
Right.
No problem there.
Presenting.
But basically presenting. But over the last couple of months, she's been licking herself, I guess, her belly, and she's been losing fur off her belly.
Yeah.
So this nude belly, it's kind of weird to see, just fur everywhere.
It started to grow back. I was really happy. Like a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, it started to come back, and I was like, look at you getting a furry belly again.
Yeah, but it
was weird.
It's nude enough that it definitely catches your eye as she's laying there, and you see the crazy ass nipple structure they've got going on. But what caught my eye was what I thought was marker on her belly.
Yeah.
I'm like, Miguel, did you write on your cat?
And I did not.
I didn't write on my cat. Dude, she's tatted. That cat is tatted.
It's perhaps.
She has the number 08 on her belly.
Huge Earnhardt fan back in the day.
Junior?
Junior, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. You declare it's a tattoo. I thought it was a vein structure that was out of control.
It's a tat. Me and Kadog really studied it after you left the room. It's a tat.
Why
man.
would a cat have 08 tattooed on her belly?
I don't know, Mike. It's your cat.
I didn't tattoo her. Why would I? I don't even own a tattoo gun. I wouldn't tattoo the cat.
What'd you do to her, you son of a bitch?
I did not do that to Monster. Monster's.
It is a distinct 08 tattoo.
And it looks like
it's
a tattoo.
The null sign. It's like O with the 0 with the line through it.
Yeah. Do you think that's something to do with when they're fixed or something? That they would mark them like that?
I've never heard of that. I've heard of
you've never seen
them,
a bald
obviously.
belly on a cat.
Ask Beth. She's all in the inside of all that
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, dude. I swear to you, I did not tattoo the cat. I did not have the cat tattooed.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's very weird. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe she was a survivor. Is it possible?
Schindler's List.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's very, very weird. Very weird. I think you took an image of it. Maybe we can post it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're sitting down, if you're not sitting down, Mike, I suggest that you do. Sit down right now. For an extremely limited time, and only with our friends at Zott Ford, you can lease one 16 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4 and get the second one for free. Right now, for just $282 per month, you get not one, but two brand new F-150 Super Cab 4x4s from Zott in Holly. One payment, two trucks. Get to I-75 and exit 98 before this wet dream dries up. Is that possible, Mike?
What?
Two trucks for the price of one?
No. I don't know. I suppose if they put it in writing, hold them to that. Let's go get a couple trucks.
Seriously. I get the free one.
Oh, fuck. Of course you reacted faster. Of course you get the free one.
Get the free one.
Congratulations. Anyway, the big news, of course, was the debate last night in Flint, Michigan, that was going off between Hillary and the burn. Telling you, dude, I'm starting to feel the burn again. I'm just saying. I at least believe him. I believe the burn, but it was on. You would think Flint, Michigan was the only topic on the table last night. It was a pander fest, like you never. It's just so politicized, and I hate that it's so politicized. I don't know who ended up winning the debate. I don't know that it matters. I think most people know what their messages are, but yeah, it was on CNN and rather interesting, getting the crowd input and the questions. And
don't you feel like you watch these dumb debates, so like you just said, you kind of know where they stand? Like, is any new ground being broken on these other than the fact that it's focused on Flint and that made it marginally interesting to this area? I wonder how other people around the country looked at that, but you know how they feel, right? And the burn, I guess it's Hillary just trying to peg him as a one-issue guy, and he kind of is, and he just
it's a big issue.
Says what he says over and over, and I don't know.
he did say that he finally had a comeback for that. You're a one issue guy. He's like, I am a one issue guy, and that issue is saving the middle class.
Oh, perfect.
I was like, oh, good one, Burn. Yeah, it was funny. Like, I understand why, but to people in Flint, that's the only issue that matters right now is the water one. I hate how it's become politicized because it immediately splits the nation, and you feel like, oh wow, if I'm not on this side, if I'm on this side, I can't be on that side, as if Republicans are like, fuck them, they're poor anyways, as if that's the attitude going on. But that's kind of the implication when you watch these things. It's like, who can prove that I care more than anybody else about what's going on here in Flint, Michigan? Well, I care more than he does because of this. And it's like, and trying to like dig a hole deeper as to who can care more.
And at the same time, it begins to annoy you so much, their take on it, that you start to get annoyed by the issue, which is a very real issue.
Absolutely, dude. That's a great point.
And so in the end, you're just like, fuck Flint. Not really, but you know what I mean?
When you step back, you go, this is an awful situation that's going on here, these poor people. But when it gets politicized, you can't help but do exactly that and go, I know that these people are so full of shit, and this isn't a shot at just Democrats, because I feel the same way about Republicans. They're so full of shit on these issues that it makes you not like, I can't listen to anything she's saying or he's saying. But anyway, they you know, did the usual stuff. They talked to people in the crowd, and Bernie at one point is like, I talked to some mother here in Flint, and she had a smart, bright, gregarious kid, and now he's retarded. It's like, okay, great. Now the kid's retarded. This is an outrage.
He was gregarious one day, retarded the next.
Retarded the next. That is a crime. That is a crime against humanity. Going on and on. And Hillary's doing the same thing. But one guy in the crowd, I loved it. He came up and he was like, hey, why should anybody in Flint trust that you're not just using this as a talking point? And why should anyone believe that you're going to give a shit about Flint, Michigan come tomorrow? And they're like, well, I've cared about the poor fucks forever. That's what I do. And I've cared about the poor pieces of shit forever longer. You know, there's just this battle about who's cared about poor people longer. But I thought it was an interesting point because that's exactly what my take was.
Yeah.
Like, don't be fooled into thinking these people actually give a shit about the play. It's a talking point. It's perfect for this party. It's got all the hallmarks of a story that will help advance that cause.
Served up on a platter.
Totally.
Beautiful story and site for a debate like that.
We joked about it a couple months ago about someone like Trump. And we were referencing a tweet. I think Anthony Cumia sent a tweet out about Trump. Donald Trump is one terrorist attack inside on U.S. soil away from running away with his presidency.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is absolutely true if you think about it, because it points to what he's talking about, his position on things, where you're like, if that hits really close to home during this election season, it just drives home that point. Like, we need to be standing firm on stop all terrorists where they stand. And like that all of a sudden becomes a hot issue. And this is the perfect hot topic issue for this party to swing through Flint, act like they give a shit for 5 minutes, and then move along to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of funny to me, but Hillary was trying to get down. Some lady stood up and was like, will you swear? I love when they do this to him. Will you swear right now that where you're sitting, that within the first 100 days of your presidency, you'll do blah, blah, blah.
And say yes.
And some lady did that. Will you promise to get rid of all lead pipes throughout the United States? And it was like, yes, I will. I will get rid of all the lead pipes.
No.
Throughout the country.
No.
And Hillary actually was like, I will get rid of all the lead pipes. And within 5 years, I will remove all lead from everywhere in the world. Lead will be gone.
What?
No more lead paint. And it was just like,
what? There
are 40 million homes.
Scrape the houses.
And Hillary's apparently within the first 5 years of her presidency is going to scrape lead paint off all the walls in people's homes. It was obnoxious. It's like, does anybody really believe that's going to happen?
Oh my
Does anybody really believe that's going to happen?
Anyone?
Anyone show hands. And
I can't.
There were a couple other points too that I thought were funny. Hillary took a real low blow. She stood up on that podium and took a shot at Bernie for he did not support the auto industry bailout in 2009. and it's just like, oh man, what a cheap shot on Michigan soil to be standing there. And then they get into some debate about, well, it's filled with all the kinds of pork. There was other shit in that bill that I didn't want to sign to bail out the rich. And so then it just gets into this squabbling match. The fact is, he did not want to bail out these. He wanted 4 million people to lose their jobs in Michigan. He hates the working class in Michigan.
Right. That's what he hates.
Yeah.
He was in there. How can we make these Michigan guys lose their jobs? How?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cheap shot, but whatever. It makes good for a good soundbite the next day. The other thing was the guy. Remember the girl that was. They were literally trying to cut her open and rip her organs out of her body after the Kalamazoo shooting.
Yes. Young 14-year-old.
14-year-old girl.
Should be on the new poster for not being on the donors list, I imagine, right? That's going to be up on the new PSAs.
Overzealous doctors.
Yeah. Doctors tried to steal my organs. She's apparently like smiling and talking now. I think she even stood up or is walking.
Wow.
But the dad was there and they had a picture of her, cute little 14-year-old girl. And he went up there and I thought he was great because he's like, the gun debate is such a hot topic for the Democratic Party during all these discussions as well. And so he gets up there and he's like, look, what are you going to do about guns in America? There is a shooting every there's been 40 mass shootings in the country. What are you going to do to stop it? And I don't want to hear criminal background checks and making sure that guns stay out of the mentally ill's hands. I don't want to hear that because that doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't work. So don't just think you're going to go to your talking points and talk about how we need to do this and that. And it puts them in a really, really tough spot.
Yeah.
Because if you can't just go down the talking list and go, we need to keep guns out of the mentally unstable's hands. That's what we need to do. It's like, well, yeah, they're already not allowed to get guns.
Well,
and the criminals' hands too. They're not supposed to have guns either. So now what?
Didn't they twist it into a class issue though? That the gun makers are just trying to profit, and we hate
Hillary did.
Yeah, we hate rich people, so twisted it into that.
And I thought Bernie had the best take on it because really the answer comes down to nothing. I mean, the correct answer is nothing. Short of making guns just illegal across the board in this country, there is nothing I can do that prevents a criminally sane, a non-insane person who is not a criminal from going and buying a gun and walking into his local church and lighting the place up. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's the Uber driver situation that we had in Kalamazoo. That resulted in that little girl being shot. There didn't seem to be anything in this guy's background. They're still digging,
and they're searching, and that's what makes it so difficult because there is really only one answer for that. You either want to eliminate guns or you don't. But the fact is, I don't care what government you are, you cannot prevent all tragedies from happening. And Bernie kind of alluded to that a little bit. He sort of did dance around that. Like, look, if you're living in a free society, you just can't stop some guy that flips his shit one day and goes on a rampage. What are you going to do? And I don't know what else you do about that. But yeah, you're right. They did Hillary tried to go after, the gun makers don't care. They're just selling guns for profit. It's like, yeah, like every other business in America. What are you talking about? Of course they are.
I know.
They're a company that, I mean, whether you love them or hate them, I mean, you can't fault them for wanting to make money, but she's talking about criminal prosecutions if guns get into the hands knowingly of gang members and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how the hell are you going to figure that all out? That whole mess.
It all sounds good. They know they don't have to make good on their promises. So say whatever sounds good.
Yeah. The other interesting thing was Don Lemon. Dumb Don Lemon was up there. I mean, they've got.
Oh, you hate Don Lemon.
Yeah. Don Lemon. He doesn't bother me all the time, but sometimes he does. And he's just kind of sitting off to the side of the class. Like, we got a black guy here. We're inclusive. But it didn't seem to really serve a purpose having him sit at a little desk off to the right side of the stage. And like every 20 minutes, they'd be like, oh, Don Lemon has a question. He'd be like, thank you very much, Anderson. And then he'd get to some dumb point or question. But he had some loaded question last night about he was quoting somebody that declared that everybody's a little bit racist. So what is it about you that is a little bit racist?
Oh, come on.
And I was sitting there going, are you shitting me? And they danced around it. They avoided it. And then he came back to it, was like, as I asked before, everybody's a little bit racist. So what is it about you that's racist?
I don't know how they danced around it, dude. And I would have just asked him. I was like, why don't you ask him that?
Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to say. Bernie kind of stepped in. He's catching shit today for it because he's like,
they accepted the premise that everybody's a little bit racist.
I guess. I mean, sort of in the context of his question, I guess they did. But he was like, white people will never know what it's like to be poor, and they'll never know what it's like to grow up in a ghetto. And so he's catching shit for saying ghetto. And I'm sitting here going, are you shitting me, dude? Are you really about to declare on national TV that white people, just in general, white people don't know what it's like to be poor?
Seen plenty of poor white people.
or live in a ghetto. That is utterly offensive. That's comically offensive. I mean, dude, as if being born white in this country gives you like, here's your $1 million and here's your slice of land. Now go be successful. As if that's the way it works for white people.
Remember, it's like running around the track.
Hilarious.
Remember, it's like running around the track.
I know all the obstacles.
We start and we get like 2 laps ahead, and they start and there's obstacles.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how I would answer that question. I tried to answer it on Twitter. I said I'm super racist because I think all lives matter. I don't remember what the other.
That kind of is racist. I mean,
I know it is, obviously. I said I was racist because I hate all white people.
What was the question again? Realizing that we're all racist.
He was quoting someone. I've heard this quote before, and I should have written it down, but I didn't. But he was quoting someone who declared that all people are on some level at least a little bit racist. So how are you a little bit racist? So how do you answer that question? Because there's like meetings behind like their support teams are getting together like, wow, if we're ever hit with that question, that lemon question again, here's how we respond. We've come up with a calculated answer to respond to that. So what do you do? It's like being in the job interview, Jay. What's your biggest
weakness?
What's your biggest weakness?
I work too hard.
I care too much about the company.
Time after time. That's what I find. Whatever job I have, I care too much.
The problem is I
end
up neglecting my family because I'm stuck here in the office just working round the clock. I mean, that's probably my biggest fault.
Working so hard that I neglect my family, and my wife starts to ask me, so I start slapping her around and be like, the job matters, bitch.
There's some flavor of an answer like that in this debate where you're like, oh, I care too much about other races. That I tend to look at whites as just
nothing remarkable.
My own race I feel is evil. I only care about the black. I just want the black to succeed, and that's probably my biggest fault. Proving I'm racist. Yeah, I don't know how you answer that. Yeah, it is kind of a dumb, loaded question. Anyway.
That's what I would have done, dude. I mean, I would have turned it around on him. I said, well, what about you?
Yeah.
You can't do that at a debate.
That's what I would have done.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to be
It seems like an unanswerable question. I honestly, I couldn't think of what a good answer would be to that. Just by the nature of the question, as a racist is a hateful thing. To say that I'm a little bit hateful of some groups simply because of the color of their skin, if you're going by the definition.
You just reject it.
How do you do that, counselor? How do you reject?
You just say, I reject that everybody's racist. I don't feel like
you're a monster. You don't see race. You don't see racism. It exists in this country, Senator.
He's not saying that. He's saying, I don't think that everyone's racist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough thing, man. I don't know.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, people are accusing Bernie Sanders of sexism, too. He's a sexist pig.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah, you see this comment. I don't think this advances the cause very much, but he at one point was like, excuse me, I'm talking. And he kind of pointed at Hillary because she kept interrupting him.
Yeah.
And people are like, you pig.
That's a sexist. That's a trigger phrase for sexism right there.
It sure is. That's what he yelled at Clinton. And this article I'm reading here, none of the four words itself were patently sexist, it was seen by many as a sexist gesture. Bernie Sanders is a rude, sexist pig, according to Elaine Woods. Bernie treats women as inferior. Quiet and talking. Wow, what a sexist. If I could name a single most triggering phrase for women regarding sexism, it'd definitely be, excuse me, I'm talking.
Really?
Yeah.
I can think of a few
Hundreds
more.
of other people said
Get on your knees, bitch.
Right. I mean, I can think of several, probably.
So what are you supposed to do? If she won't shut the fuck up when you're trying to talk, I mean,
I know,
excuse me, I'm making a point. You can make your dumb point in a second.
Heard it a million times on the GOP side. Those guys, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We were talking yesterday about Caitlyn Jenner a little bit, and
we did speak about him.
I was
Yes.
gonna say I don't even know who that is.
Well, Caitlin, you were wondering if there was a season 2. Season 2
Yeah, no, I
premiered
told
last
you.
night.
Yeah, I told. Remember that?
Yeah, at the end of the show, we
yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
that. But
Okay.
Did you watch it?
You know what? I'm going to watch another episode just to do it. I think, but I already watched. Dude, I watched 1.5 before, and I couldn't stand it. I actually don't know how I even got through the full first episode.
she got into a fight with all these man girlfriends of hers. Like she's just, it's
are
like
they?
her entire life now is surrounded by a group of like 10 dudes.
But are they
They're dudes with wigs and makeup and the
Okay.
whole works. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know how far along the process they are,
Right,
but they
but
just
they're-
run around and
Life
Like-
is just a big Halloween party.
right. And they just stroll out together. Oh my God, let's have a naming celebration. You know, I'm Kate now. And they do all that shit. And then they just get into a room and they just talk about how, you know, targeted they are and hated they are and all
blah
that
blah
shit.
blah?
Yeah, all the stuff that's really important on most voters' minds. And but they got into it because she was like, yeah, Hillary Clinton's a twat, basically. And they're like, what? How could you not be for Hillary? Because he had come out and said he was for Ted Cruz.
Right.
Right.
And so they got into the debate about that on
Oh,
the show
no.
last night, I guess. And
I bet that was entertaining.
yeah, I didn't see it, but
Were they like on a party bus? I saw highlights from it. I
Yeah.
think or so. Like,
that was going to the naming ceremony
Okay.
that they were celebrating where Boy George was singing.
gotcha. Oh,
Um,
by the way, I watched some of his DJ performancing after you guys left. You guys referenced that he
Yeah.
kind of turned into what I've been listening to recently, and it's not a strong. Like he's doing it, but it's not strong.
yeah,
Like,
he's there more in name.
Right. Yeah. It's just probably more like here's Boy George, and you know some beats are coming, but
So one of the ladies said, I want to go to the Democratic one of the Democratic things, you know, the
yeah.
national debates. And he was like, ugh, last place I'd want to be. And so this activist pal, this dude, Shandy Moore, beautiful young man, suggested she should be open to hearing both sides. I'm open. We need both sides. And if we're unfortunate enough to get Hillary as our next president, we need her on our side. Although she won't be, she couldn't care less about women. She cares about herself. Caitlin went on and was quizzed about her views, asked by this other guy, Jenny Boylan, which candidate she thought would be most supportive of transgender people. She replied, all of them. None of the Republicans are I hate trans people or I hate gays. They knew nothing of that. I want a driving economy so every trans person has a job. And then this other guy, Candace Kane, said he was a close friend of Caitlin since she transitioned. She's got this whole group of new friends now. Side, I just don't understand why she thinks that Democrats are more open to transgender views. I don't know why she feels the other way. Republicans don't want to give LGBT rights to our community. And he goes on to say Republicans and conservatives are not these horrible people who are trying to oppress people. But anyway, the other funny thing they talk about is I guess Kylie and Kendall showed up, his daughters, and they walked in and one of the guys there was like, "Oh, when did you know you were a woman?"
No.
They're asking the twins, his twin daughters, "When did you know exactly that you were a gender woman?"
What?
Yeah.
What was their? Did they say that with their response? I'm gonna have to watch this episode. Dude.
Yeah, one of them, Kendall, was like, "Yeah, I feel like I have always known that I was in fact a woman." Like, oh, interesting. Kylie was, yeah, she said the same thing. Basically, yeah, I knew right away. The other bombshell that came out in that is that he wants to date dudes.
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
thought he said he wasn't gonna necessarily do that.
he didn't want to talk about it, but
God, it's all so confusing.
I know it is. He says sexuality, talking about it is very difficult for me. If I was in a relationship with a guy, I would enjoy being treated like that, opening doors for you. Things you would think of as traditional stuff in a guy-girl relationship. It would take a very special guy to be able to do that. But yeah, I would be open to that.
Oh, this poor mentally ill man.
Yeah. But still, as we talked about last night, it's not shocking that he would be for Republican. He feels like my mind hasn't changed. I'm still the same 66-year-old white rich man.
Right.
I mean, of course he's for the Republican Party. E, do you have those meme pics?
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes that are going on about little Rubio?
I
Little
heard
Marco?
about him. And that was my real turning point. Now that I think back about it, it was Trump's response to Rubio when Rubio hit him with something and he turned to him and just, oh, little Rubio. It's like, dude, you could have totally substantively responded to what he's saying. And instead you just came back and shot this little Rubio quip at him.
Yeah.
And that's where that one just left me shaking my head. Like, really, dude? You're not
Yeah.
even doing this in like a wise way. You know, like we talked about yesterday, he drummed up the support early on, made the waves, made everybody realize he's not the usual candidate, but just going about it in a dumb way now
Mhm.
instead of just riding
there-
that wave.
Is there anything he could do to get your support
No,
back?
no, I'm
You know,
done
if
with him.
you're done with Trump.
Done with Trump.
So
I
who-
was never with them. I mean, I was open to again, I love the idea of somebody
Mhm.
different coming in, but I was never on board with him, like about to vote for him. But
Yeah.
he was in the mix.
I'll probably
Out of the
cancel
mix
your
now.
vote, whoever you're voting for. I'm going to go to the polls.
You are
too.
not going to the polls.
I just might,
You-
just to
you-
cancel your vote.
I asked you earlier off air, are you going to go vote? Yeah. And he pulls out his, unbelievably, he locates his voter registration card in the midst of all his shit upstairs.
What?
Yes. He
It's
reaches,
controlled chaos, Jay. I know where things are.
he pulls it out and he looks at it and he goes, oh, but I don't know where I'm supposed to go. He's not going.
But I have the card and I'll figure it out from there.
You're not going anywhere.
I am too. Just to cancel your vote. I can only cancel one person's vote out. I thought I'd have to cancel Beth's out, but I'm canceling yours out.
That's the thing. There's 4 guys in it. We're not exactly canceling each other.
True, but who do you know who you're voting for? You going Kasich?
Probably Kasich.
Yeah, Kasich does
Strong
seem
lean.
he does seem like the one that probably deserves it the most, but I don't see Kasich winning anything, so it feels like a wasted vote.
He's not winning anything. It's all about delegates at this point. It's all about stopping Trump.
Yeah, so you're a part of the Never Trump movement now.
I don't know what I am, dude. I don't know.
Anyway, Marco, he apparently took a photo at this furniture place in Franklin, New Hampshire in August. That was in it. He sat in a giant chair and his feet were left dangling, so it made him look wee. And people, go ahead. He scrolls through some of the memes.
It's like an Alice in Wonderland chair.
Yeah,
Look
And-
at little Rubio.
so people are memeing him everywhere.
He's in one of those little swings.
I love his shoes.
Yeah. On Trump's lap.
He's sitting on Trump's lap. Sitting on Trump's lap again. He's playing with his Jedi toys.
On
There
the
he
back of Cruz
Yeah, and the vampires sitting on his neck.
in Thunderdome.
There's Trump playing with a dollhouse.
Hey,
But
Sweet Pie has that same dollhouse.
does she really?
Yeah.
Dollhouses are kind of badass. You think about them. Go back to the dollhousey.
You think so?
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I mean, I like the.
It's a nice style house. It's a nice style house.
Yeah, I mean the kitchen's nice. I love the woodwork going on there in the wall.
I'm not sure any little girl really plays with dollhouses anymore, though.
Really?
Just kind of thing to have in the corner. And
Yeah,
I don't know. She was putting stuff on there yesterday, some animals in there and shit, but
they don't
I don't
really
know.
get into them.
it's just it's become a shelf
Yeah, I could see
for
that.
stuff.
So there's Rubio sitting in. His
There he is. It's
tiny
hard to
chair.
see him.
Yeah. Are there more E?
That looked like that was it. And at least in this, I'm sure there's more out there, but that looked like that was it, at least in this
Okay.
place.
Well, you're not the only one going after or supporting John Kasich. Arnold is also
Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is throwing his support. What is going on with Arnold's
Oh my
face,
goodness
man?
gracious.
Yeah.
Years. He's old.
How old is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's got to be late 60s.
Late 60s?
Probably.
At least, right?
Yeah.
68, man.
No,
68.
you're right, man. Like something in the last few years, something happened to him.
Yeah,
Age.
something's gone on. It's not just age though. He looks too greasy and smooth or something.
Well, he's trying not to look old.
Got
He's
some work
probably
done.
doing work on himself.
I think
because he
tons of work.
because he doesn't look. He looks old, but it's like fake old, like you said. Like his face looks like it's tightened more than it should.
It's taught in certain areas, but not in others. Has he done anything recently in terms of movies?
Yeah, he did. Wasn't he in the Untouchables or one of those?
Well, didn't they do a new
Terminator.
Terminator or something?
Yeah, was he in that? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's back to acting now. But
Terminator Genesis or whatever that
Yeah.
was. That was 2015.
Mhm. Yeah, it just looks weird, and I don't know how anybody looks in the mirror after that shit and goes, "Oh yeah, I look great." Like it just. I mean, maybe it's something you have to get there to like get to that point,
Yeah.
you know. And it's
I guess
I don't
maybe he
know,
knows what he thought he looked like before, and he thinks this is better.
I don't
I
know.
guess.
It always
It
looks.
doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't look real. But anyway, he's supporting John Kasich. You want to hear what is this? A Snapchat he sent out?
Looks like
A
it.
Snapchat.
I know.
Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Glad we captured it.
I want John Kasich to be the next nominee of the Republicans and also to be the next president of the United States. Here he is.
Thank you, Arnold. Love you, man.
God, he's like a caricature of himself.
Here he is. Thank you, Arnold. Love you,
I
man.
want John Kasich to be the next nominee of the Republicans and also to be the next president of the United States. Here he is.
Thank you, Arnold. Love you, man.
Oh, ridiculous.
It's so bad.
Old guys on social media.
They became friends, I guess, in the 80s when he was in Ohio. Arnold was in Ohio hosting his annual Arnold Sports Festival, bodybuilding and fitness expo. We have been friends ever since. Yeah. So him and Kasich are boys.
Well, they were governors together, weren't they?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was a governor.
I know. So was Jesse the
Of like
Body.
a legit state, California, not
Yeah.
even, not like New Hampshire, not New Hampshire, but like one of the plain states, just something that you don't even care about.
Bill Burr talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, man. When he does a whole bit on great men being brought down in these colossal divorces where they just get raped for their money. Like, he's talking about Tiger Woods marries this chick. She's essentially a babysitter, and she's now worth $250 million. She's never hit a jump shot in her life, never swung a golf club in her life, and this career hot babysitter is now worth $250 million.
Right.
And
didn't Arnold bang the housekeeper?
Yes.
yeah. But he goes on this rant about, why wouldn't he think he could bang the gross fat housekeeper and get away with it? I mean, here's a guy who doesn't speak the language, comes to this country, dominates, becomes the strongest man in the world, says, fuck it, I'm going into movies. He can't even speak English.
right, man.
And he goes and he stars in these super action hero movies. And then he's like, what's next? Now politics. And he goes and he becomes governor of a state he can't even pronounce. And then he
California.
says, and then he goes and fuck it, I'll marry a Kennedy.
Yeah,
He
right.
marries our version of royalty. Why wouldn't he think he could fuck the maid and get away with it? This guy's been on a winning streak for 40 years.
Fucking the proverbial maid for 40 years.
In the way only Bill Burr can deliver a rant. It's fucking brilliant. Go Google it. It's dynamite.
Hey, we got to tell you about our buddy David Helm. This segment's brought to you by Helm Law, which is a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal services to its clients throughout Michigan. It represents clients in a wide range of cases, including family law and divorce, civil litigation, estate planning, and criminal defense. So whether you're leaving your children in the car or your spouse is refusing to put out, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. If you tell them you support the Detroit Cast, you'll get 15% off.
We got video that's been going around lately, the last few days, of this waiter at Denny's.
I have not seen this. I heard about this. This has to be the biggest skank on the planet.
Well, the way they sell the story is, she so loved her meal that she decided to pay him with a tip by blowing the guy. And I'm like, no, the meal at Denny's was not so great that she felt like, the only tip that's worth it is to blow the guy.
The Grand Slam breakfast.
This is obviously someone who's hammered drunk and for a laugh is going to blow this dude. And she does. She video surfaced this week of this guy like jumping for joy, like he won the lottery, like, hell yeah, you can blow me. And then she starts to blow him there in front of everyone in the restaurant, although it looks like it's probably 2 a.m. or something, and there's not really anybody there. They say that though it's possible the female was intoxicated, it does appear that the sexual encounter was in fact consensual. If you were worried if this was rape or not because she was drunk, we know women are so helpless and can't consent to sex if they've had a couple drinks. So it appears that he did not rape her here.
Okay.
So just wanted to make that clear for anyone that was thinking
Thank God.
a humongous rape went on in a Denny's. It doesn't appear to be the case, but you got it there.
See this dude. The happy face over it.
She's willing. I mean, come on now. There you go. Do it. Whip it out. Jack,
Oh my God, what a weirdo.
Oh,
Just some,
I'll tell you what, that's an awesome tip.
some standard Denny's dude.
Yeah, don't do it around the other girls. Not around the other girls.
That's it. You're gonna.
Oh, what a skank.
I love her.
Videos we have from the night?
Wow.
You can see the unedited version on
There's-
World Star.
Nobody in there.
Yeah.
God.
What do you think?
Wow.
I mean, as far as chicks who are just going to randomly blow you into Denny's,
She's not that bad. for
E,
sure.
would
Would you give him like 5
Yeah.
seconds of her time though? Come
That's the
on.
only thing. That would be
Yeah.
the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Because now he's about to, dude. He's got to walk back, and that's
No, yeah, he's got another 2 hours on his shift.
Well, that and he didn't finish. I mean, she
that was my
absolutely
point.
blue-balled him.
That's my point. Like you'd want to, like you have to go take care of that almost. Like
Ugh.
We don't know where this Denny's was or who these people are at this point. Anyways, the stories I read, it doesn't look like anyone's been identified.
you know
yet.
what though? She'll be able. Dude, this is social media at her age. Someone
There's
will
a
see that
very
video.
clear look at
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Dude, someone will see that video and know who that is. I have.
I mean,
I was trying to replay, but I couldn't. For some reason, I'm showing it. But
I mean,
But
what do you
the
think?
video-
If some chick did that to you while you were waiting
hell
tables?
yes, hell yes.
I think I would too.
There's a
Yes.
ghost town in there too.
Yeah.
He just, why not?
Yeah.
Dude, but she'll get recognized, dude. Like
Yeah.
her,
Oh.
how much that's going around. If she doesn't think some friend's gonna, and the thing is, you're so stupid to obviously realize that it's not just some friend's gonna see it, but some ex-boyfriend who hates her is gonna see that, and then he'll blast it out. It's not gonna be necessarily even a friend.
Yeah.
I'm feeling she might not care.
Think about
Yeah, maybe not.
how different it is if some guy was like, I know you're my waitress here at Denny's, but I got a tip for you.
Look,
Eat you out.
How about
right
eat
here.
your box for 3 seconds?
Like she's like, yeah, awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like, could
God,
you
what
like,
percentage of chick waitresses would go for that?
I
You
mean,
know?
he would be so slapped across the face. He would be vilified in his community. It'd just be like this monster. Even yeah, he'd be regarded as a absolute monster for even suggesting that. But this is kind of the argument for why it's just different. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just different when you talk about a 17-year-old student at a high school banging his hot 26-year-old teacher, and why that's a little bit different than your standard definition of what.
Different wiring, different chemical makeup, man.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, if you're a
'Cause
young,
I-
attractive female teacher who's eager to brighten her students' future, or if you've been injured at the Fady Manor and are looking to cash in, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You'll get 15% off.
dude, I just went to go. Like I saw I had a text, so I went to go open it, and that fucking picture was still there because I hadn't closed it yet, and I just saw it
Yeah.
again.
Did you see the purple that I was talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Purple taint.
It's got like a purple streak to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's scarring of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some sort of abuse going on there. It's not a good look. I
No.
wish we could share it with the class.
It didn't. Needless to say, by the way, from looking at that, that when she responded, like he didn't follow up afterwards. Like that didn't bring him to want to hook up with her, and she seemed to be shocked by that.
Yeah, that's why I
Like-
wonder if that's just her going, yeah, all right, dude, enough of you. And then she just
It didn't-
blasts him
it
with
really
this
didn't
file
sound- I
footage
know
of a
what you're
nasty
saying.
snatch.
that could be.
I know what you're saying, dude, but I
Get him off the
really
scent.
don't think so. It
Has
really.
he been there before? Does he know?
I don't remember. I'd have to ask more questions, I guess. But it really sounded though like
I
she
couldn't
was
help
trying.
myself.
No, but it really sounded like she was trying to impress him. I will. I know what you're saying, but it didn't sound like that.
Send a titty then. Something.
Maybe she thinks it's normal.
Yeah. Poor girl. Star Wars. You're a fan, right, Jay?
Familiar and a
You're
fan.
familiar with
You're
Star
a
Wars?
fan, right, Jay? Yeah, dude. You mean the guy that about a week ago I was sitting here finishing up the post and we had to hear the Star Wars, not just the one song, like the da, 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 like the whole.
The entire symphonic arrangement.
Yeah,
Jay will actually like hit play on the Star Wars symphonic arrangement and just listen to it.
Yeah, it's that's a little known fact about me. Every now and then I will pull that up and just let her play.
That's so fun.
Good stuff.
I had that as a kid, by the way, on vinyl. I would listen to that
Really?
thing. Yeah. Yep.
John Williams, I hope, was paid handsomely and continues to be paid handsomely for that.
Oh, I'm sure.
What a
he
genius.
has. Yeah.
An enormous part of the feel of that film came from.
What do you get out of that now, though? When you're sitting down listening to a laptop and you're just playing
Oh, no, I love it.
the
man.
soundtrack from Star Wars? Does it harken you back to your childhood? What's the
The
deal there?
Imperial March, Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
come on.
It just seems like a.
Dun, 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 dun. There's nothing like it.
It is great. I will say that when he was playing it, it took to about. I think it took up to about the 5th or 6th one in where I was kind of like, okay, this one I'm not really on.
Yeah, they go into like the Princess Leia kind of parts.
The wavy music
stuff,
that just kind of drones on. Yeah. Well, it sounds like they're doing exactly what you feared and making, now that Disney owns it, it's just going to get
watered down to shit.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah,
it really
enjoy
is.
the next few because it'll just get it'll become what Star Trek is now, where there's the next generation and movies off to the side and books and they're just gonna.
It almost seems worse with Disney involved.
Yeah,
it will be worse.
Like just milk it for everything it's worth. I mean, what's it going to be? Walt Disney? Is it gonna literally? I mean, turn it into a massive empire of shit.
What do you mean, Walt Disney? I mean,
like just how Disneyland is just like everywhere.
Well, they're building a Star Wars world at Disney World. You know how they have like Frontierland and all that shit? There's going to be a Star Wars land or whatever.
Kind of cool, probably.
Definitely
check it out. But then I'll be outraged by it. I don't want it anymore, but
I'm so pissed, dude. I haven't been to Orlando in many years at this point, and I don't really see me going to Orlando Universal anymore. But he said they're building a Star Wars. They have a fucking Simpsons place right now at Universal Studios, dude. Like an absolute Simpsons
like the
town.
set or
like a Simpsons town.
Really? I bet that
you can go to like
sweet,
Moe's Bar and it'd be awesome. I've heard people have gone and they said it's awesome, but I don't see me being able to get down to Orlando anytime soon.
Yeah, Jay and I went into a nice saloon at Cedar Point.
Yeah, we sat in there for a couple hours.
We had a beer, and you didn't have your ID with you, so I had to get a beer for you.
That's
they
right.
Wouldn't sell you.
I know. I'm 42 years old, man.
No,
and I look every second of it.
And they wouldn't sell me 2 beers, so Jay had to sit at his little table. They had the swinging saloon doors and everything. He had to sit at his table. I had to buy a beer, like figure out whatever dumb craft beer he wanted, get him that, and then go back up and wait in line again to buy another beer.
Good of you.
How ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It is funny. Not that they sell it because they have those restaurants, but Did
you say restaurants?
Restaurants or restaurant, whatever. But now that they sell it like just walking by, don't they? Don't they have just vendors like the little side vendors that sell pop? I think there's a few that sell beer too.
At Cedar Point?
It used to be just in their restaurants, but I think now you can just get it like
maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember where we were in the park.
I know exactly where you were.
Maverick.
Yeah, exactly where you were. You were in that
I thought it was on the
area.
like the kids were going to the water.
Probably.
Was it on the way to the water?
No, we were waiting for them on the Maverick or the Mean Streak. It's like way back to the back of the park.
I know exactly
that's
what you're
right.
talking about.
We spent too long in there, and the kids couldn't find us.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go? It's like, a couple cocktails.
Where'd you guys go?
Anyway, Star Wars, Disney is reported to be currently planning up to 10 more releases.
Oh, that's rough.
Following The Force Awakens.
3 was like, I thought we'd get 2 or 3.
J.J. Abrams spoke to The Sun in Los Angeles, and he teased fans by revealing the team behind the franchise are discussing some very cool things. It's very exciting to see how it's being put together. Abrams' teasing of multiple new films was also backed up by a source who revealed the success of Force Awakens had given Disney bosses a lot to think about. Well, what did they think was going to happen? They didn't think that was going to be that successful. You had to know The Force Awakens was going to be a gigundous movie.
They're not going to all be that successful.
It's still playing, by the way. It was having one showtime at the Star Southfield.
Wow, God, I should go see it again.
Yeah, it was still there. They were doing like one showing on Saturday at like 4 p.m.
I meant to go see that a second time too. Maybe I should.
So many characters' backstories can be brought to life. When these ideas came from George Lucas 40 years ago, the technology just wasn't there yet. The Star Wars spinoff Rogue One is due in December. 2 more trilogy films and a further 3 spinoffs could be increased.
Yeah, they're going to have a Han Solo movie and a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah, so it sounds like they're going to do it like every year. Like
there's gonna be that's what it described pretty much earlier, right? There's gonna be every year there's gonna be one. Every other is going to be the big one, like, along the main storyline, and the other ones are going to kind of be these subsets.
Yeah. So we've got what? Episode 8 is the one in production now, which they say is a 2017 release. And then 2018 and 2020 will be the Han Solo and Boba Fett movies.
I thought there was going to be one out in 2016. I really did.
2019 will be episode 9.
Huh.
So every other year they'll have a new one coming out. And they said the Boba Fett one and Han Solo one.
Saying Fett.
Boba Fett. Whatever.
God damn it,
Boba
dude.
Fett.
I know
Boba
there's many
Fett.
people out there screaming right now. Stop saying Fett. I was going to let it slide, but the third time I had to stop you. It's Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. I'm saying
Boba
it.
Fett.
Boba Fett.
God
I'm
damn
saying
you.
it just like you are. Same thing.
Sacrilegious,
Boba
you
Fett.
son of a bitch. You know what you're doing.
Han Salah. They saying that, oh, we could spin off sequels from these movies too. So it'll be a part 2 of Boba Fett.
God.
Mr. Fat, the Fat Family. Maybe we'll check out the Fat Family and the
It's
Solo
too bad,
family.
but you can't blame them. You know,
I know.
These people are going to eat
Printing
them up.
money. You're just printing money.
And then the other Star Wars related news is that Luke Skywalker might have been gay.
Gay?
They're making Luke gay,
He looked
perhaps.
awfully happy. He
character?
looked awfully happy to be kissed by his sister in Empire Strikes Back. I'm just saying.
I agree. Mark Hamill has told also the Sun in Los Angeles that that Luke could in fact be gay. Hamill said fans are writing asking all these questions. I'm bullied in school. I'm afraid to come out. They say to me, could Luke be gay? And I'd say it's meant to be interpreted by the viewer. If you think Luke is gay, of course he is. You should not be ashamed of it. Judge Luke by his character, not by who he loves.
God damn it. Can't it just be what it is?
I know. It is so outrageous. Anyways,
there is no way, by the way, back in the 70s or whenever the first one came out, that he was gay. That they figured
there's no way. I agree with you, Lucas.
Lucas would have sat there and said, "This is a gay." No way.
Agreed.
Hamill says his comments come after J.J. Abrams told the Daily Beast that the Star Wars movies would soon feature their first openly gay character. The website asked him whether there was a future for gay characters, and he said, of course
There is.
When I talk about
a vast universe.
Inclusivity, it's not excluding gay characters. It's about inclusivity. So, of course. Well,
now they'll just throw some in. We'll just have trans.
How are you going to know he's gay? Are we going to see a sex scene in Star Wars? Like, what do you?
The only romance has been between Han and Leia, and that's such a side piece of the whole thing.
It's
like,
not the biggest. Right.
I mean, how do you do that?
Because
Because
what is the aliens going to be gay? They could have one of these. How do you even know? Right. One of these aliens. How do we know what sex they are?
It's supposed to be irrelevant, anyways. And that whole you would just assume in a galaxy far, far away with 1.5 billion people, whatever, that yes, gay people exist there. Fine, whatever. But so what's he going to come swishing across the screen? Hi, oh, geez, look at the ass on that guy. Like, how are you going to point out that he's gay? He's going to be holding hands with a dude.
Yeah,
you're going to gratuitously just throw homo references in there.
To the extent there's been relationships, it's been to move the story forward. Like, I didn't want to shortchange Padme and Anakin's relationship there when I said there was no other romance. But that was just so that they could have offspring of Luke and Leia, and then the story could go forward. So your point is correct. Like, yeah, they're just going to have some guy just
flitting about.
And
what do you think C-3PO was? Oh, C-3PO was clearly a Mo. And I'm sorry, but Mr. Binks, you could argue that Binks...
He's not gay.
I mean, just chalk that up. Just go, yeah. But in the end, Binks was gay. Yeah. All right, solved it. There was a gay guy on screen. 3PO was also a gay robot. So whatever. It's a weird galaxy.
Yeah,
it seems so forced and so of the times to wrench that in there. Fat poops running around.
No, that's exactly right. You would have to wrench it in there. Like, what storyline is gonna? I don't know.
Render a gay
who knows
character?
Where the hell the story's going? Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, why don't we take a quick time out? I need a coffee. Do you need a coffee, Jay?
Yes, please. Can I have a Keurig cup?
You can have a Keurig cup. Yes, absolutely, you can. There was a story we had last night that we never ended up getting to that I want to talk about as well, about the Chinese elevator.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know.
There's something going on with Chinese lift systems.
You're talking about the escalators too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a real problem.
Are they still riding escalators with their legs?
Like spread stance, trying not to get eaten alive by the gears. Well, we have an incident at with an elevator that we'll get to that and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zott Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zott Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, we're back from the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay.
Like we have an answer on the tattooed cat.
Oh, no.
It's apparently quite common.
It is?
Yes, for cats that are spayed to be tatted.
Why would they tat an 08, though? Is that
I
just
don't
some
know.
smart ass?
Don't know.
Don't know that?
But it is a tattoo, so it's not
It's
not
a
just a
tattoo.
body. Okay.
They say that they're frequently either tattooed or their ears are notched.
Their ears are
Yeah,
notched.
but
What is
a
that?
lot of vets understandably don't like to cut off, good tissue out of an ear, so they'll just apply a little tattoo on the stomach so that the thing's been spayed.
Really?
Usually they say it's an S, which would make sense, but yours is an 08 for sure.
Mine is definitely an 08. You have a picture of it, so we can post a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird because when I got Monster, I got her from the Humane Society, and she was wee, dude. She fit in the palm of my hands, and she did not have like you would think she'd have a shaved belly. I mean, obviously
Right.
they'd have to shave the belly to tattoo her. So, yeah, that's odd.
I
that
thought those
wouldn't-
places wouldn't give them to you until they're a certain age. Didn't you find Pants, and Pants was wee because you
Mhm.
found them under a deck? I thought they had to be like
someone found him under a
12
deck, and then
weeks or
I
something.
adopted him.
Like we got Moose and Tank right
Mhm.
at their limit, but they were way bigger than palm
One
of
of
the
those cats
hand.
gonna be named Biggie.
No.
Oh,
One of them was supposed to be, yeah.
That's-
I mean,
sounds like
Princess wanted to name him
Right.
that. Yeah, when I got Pants, he was too young to eat real food. He couldn't have brown circles yet. Like he was still there. He had to be on a formula.
But Monster, you got from a place, so
Mhm.
they spay before they give them out. They spay them, neuter 'em,
Right.
so that they can't go and multiply and create more problems.
Right.
So she had to be a certain age for them to do that.
Dude, I have pictures of her. She's like
Just a little wee.
just a wee little thing. Yeah, they brought her in on the Jordan Mike show. They were doing one of their, pushes.
Adopt a cat thing.
Yeah. And we probably selfishly just wanted to have a cool looking pet come in. And Clark was like, dude, you got to take this thing home. She's fucking adorable. And so he bought her for me. Clark bought Monster. I think he had to pay like the $130
Oh,
for
really?
costs, whatever
Never knew
costs
that.
were involved. Yeah, there's some minimal, but at the
Well, no,
time I didn't have the
know
money
the
to
story. I meant not the money.
do it.
Like
Yeah. Clark bought her.
that's funny.
I think I made him buy other things for her too. Like, well, you're buying the cage then. I'm not taking this thing and buying a cage. And he's like, fuck yeah, I'll buy the cage and the food. And so,
is he still buying the food?
no, he's not anymore. He stopped
Those checks rolling in every
every month.
Support checks.
Yeah.
Hey, this segment's brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. Kyle Mayer is an experienced accountant that wants to help you with your personal year-end tax returns or your company's bookkeeping and tax-related needs. So whether you're like Big E, who at best needs to file a 1040 EZ, or like the King dealing with multiple business ventures and capital gains, or like Walters who just wants someone else to handle his shit,
That's right.
Mayer and Company can help. Call Kyle Mayer at 248-521-0016. Tell him that you also listen to the Detroit Cast. You'll get 10% off your year-end tax preparation fee.
Do you know Big E was a Bob Dylan fan?
No.
That seems weird. Of all things.
Yeah.
Not like I'm not a.
Seems like that would be over his head.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Agreed.
I couldn't begin to tell you. Like if you were to name. I mean, I could only name songs that probably anyone would know. What is it? In the Wind or whatever. I can't. I'm not.
Leopard skin pillbox hat.
Yeah. See, I don't know that. So I don't know.
Blonde on
probably-
Blonde, Highway 61 revisited.
Right. I don't know the deep shit. I only
Yeah.
know.
Blood on the Tracks. Do you have any Dylan albums?
I have 2 mix CDs my friend made for me back in high school that liked Dylan a lot.
Here
I-
you
so
go,
I-
Biggie.
So-
Here's
You
a,
love this guy.
here's a mix.
Blowing in the wind.
I mean, dude, I will self-admit that I'm
Masters of War.
not.
you?
I'm telling you right
Big
now,
fan
that-
of Masters of War. Come on.
dude, I only know you'd have to get. If I got a greatest hit CD that had 15, I'd probably know those. I
Idiot
don't,
Wind. My favorite Dylan song is Idiot Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love Idiot Wind.
See, I don't, right. Yeah, I don't, dude. I'm not proclaiming I'm a big fan. I just,
No, I'm
I-
surprised you'd be a fan at all. That's all.
but I do like. I did like the stuff. I should have got more into it. I was actually shocked I didn't buy more stuff. But I just saw that he was. I saw on one of my things that he's coming on another tour this year. and
Gross.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. that they would make an
I don't need to
announcement.
see
Like, I don't understand
his
why.
career's falling off.
Right.
He's coming on his tour.
I
Jesus.
don't know why that announcement was made.
Wow.
It seems very odd, but
Seems like an older fella to be coming on tour like that. It's weird.
Well, they got Viagra now.
All right, anybody see him in the last 5 years? Does he still hold up?
I saw him 15 years ago at least. I've seen Dylan a couple times.
He was hanging on then, right?
It was relatively brutal because the Dylan that you love is the folk singer, poem writer Bob Dylan of the 60s. Like that's where Bob Dylan is genius. And so I want to see Bob Dylan on stage with an acoustic guitar. That's what I want to see. And both times, or I've seen him probably 3 times, he comes with a band and it's like, oh, this isn't
not a selfish lover.
Yeah, right. True. But he comes with a band, and they play, and it's fine. I had front row seats to a Dylan show. I was like leaning on the stage, and he was walking off the stage, and I'm like holding my hand. I just wanted to touch Bob Dylan, and he actually acknowledged it. And he went, "You want to touch me?" And then he acted like he was going to touch my hand, and then he walked off the stage.
Oh, that's
and didn't give me the. He didn't give me that.
Just like Pam Anderson.
What a goddamn.
Yeah, what is it with me that gets blown off by these people?
Well, you're a star fucker. They just sense it in you.
See, when I look at the songs, like, dude, only the songs I know.
You want to touch me?
They'd be all just these best ofs. You know what I mean? Blowing in the wind, times are changing. It ain't me, babe. Rolling Stone. Like I like these, Mr. Tambourine.
So
Man.
any chance you hear that shit if you go see him at
I'm
the
wondering
show?
if I won't.
You know what
I
mean?
wonder if I'll just hear 3, maybe one or.
You'll get the pride in knowing that you can declare I saw Bob Dylan.
That's really what it's only.
I was in the
about.
same venue and theater as Bob Dylan.
Right. I understand that he's not going to probably even play those songs. Who knows? I understand that he's not even close to as good as he ever was. But I do, like I said, those songs I just named, I really like those songs. I know he won't even probably play them, but it'd be cool to see Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
There's a few people to me, like I said, I was saying to you, like, I obviously now I'll never get the chance, but if you would ever like say like, who, if you could you see, like for me, like Johnny Cash, I'd give a lot of whatever. I don't know what I could give.
All you had to do was go to prison.
Right. Yeah. I would love to have seen Johnny Cash, and that's obviously will never happen, but
yeah,
whatever. I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna try.
Where's he coming?
All over America. According to this tour. And partially outside. No, in Toledo. He's gonna be coming all over Toledo.
Ooh.
But no, he's in Toledo and in June, late of June, it looks like. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I don't know what it's gonna be. Like I said, I think what the good thing is I'm going in not thinking that it's gonna be anything, more just going in thinking it'll be cool to say you saw Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he might be my favorite artist. Might be Bob Dylan. Love Bob Dylan. You a big fan of Dylan, Jay?
He's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I know people are. It's kind of like the Grateful Dead, who I also love. People either love them or absolutely hate them.
No, I'm in between with him.
Really?
Really like him, I'd say.
Him. I was gonna say I thought I remembered you
quite like.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought you would have been a Dylan fan.
I was into him for a while.
Yeah. Not you. Beatles probably your favorite
for sure.
Yeah. Star Wars Beatles. Yeah. Pretty common.
See, I'm looking. I'm
a dime a dozen. I know.
I will say. I'm looking on to his best of 2. And I know songs on that one too. So, but again, they're probably all songs from the 70s or whenever he was. I don't know. Whenever his peak was. Maggie's Farm. You know, She Belongs to Me. All Along the Watchtower. But again, I know he won't play those probably. But that's into the best of 2 at least. So I feel like at least I went a little.
Question is, if he does, will you recognize him?
Yeah,
it's a great point. No, you probably want to. It'd be like going and seeing Springsteen, where it's like he got 3/4 of the way through Born in the USA. It was like
puts it in some different arrangement.
Totally, and you're like, oh wow, okay. I guess he did Born in the USA, sort of.
Right.
Or he just lifted a lyric or two from Born in the USA and added it to some weird song I've never heard.
Well, that's
cool.
That's such a weird thing for the musicians. I get, because I get it their side and you get it your side, because as fans, we only go a few times, maybe once our whole life. Now, maybe you're lucky you see your favorite guy a few times, or maybe you see them one time and you want to hear the songs that you want to hear. And they've been playing the songs. I mean, look at him or Bruce. How many times is he saying Born in the USA? You know what I mean?
Apparently not that many.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, he hated that song. But,
okay. Well, but other songs that were, you know.
Yeah, no, I think personally, I feel like you have a duty to do those songs the way they are. Like, that's what people are. It's a weird thing. Like, nobody wants to hear the hits when a comedian takes the stage. comedian takes the stage and they have to bring new shit all the time, or
yeah.
people are like, heard it. Like you would never go to a Springsteen show and go, heard it.
Right,
Born
you're
in the
going
USA.
there to hear that.
You're going there to hear those songs. Like I've seen Motley Crue 20 times, and I know there are certain things they're going to do, and you can expect that they're going to do them. And I don't go, fuck, man, I can't believe they're doing Home Sweet Home again. This is bullshit.
Dude, I waited 20 years for
you get it. You get it. That's just the way you hope they go deeper, and you know.
Right.
But you know that there are people that are seeing them for the first time. I think I have respect for an Elton John or a Billy Joel who comes out and just kills it for 2.5 hours. They bring the shit they know that people are there to hear. They can sing along all night and make an evening out of it. And I have respect for that.
Dude,
it's like, dude, this is what made you who you are.
It's like I said,
it's your job.
That's the problem. It's two different things. They're like, but like when Garth came back here on his reunion whatever tour,
Chris Gaines or Garth?
Garth Brooks.
God damn it! Did you just spit on my shoe?
Yeah, that was a spit take. Wow,
spit on my shoe.
That was a legit spit take
Yeah.
you just drew out. You just asked Eve if it was Chris Gaines.
Fucking asshole.
I spit coffee all
my shoe.
over on your
know,
shoe.
that was
You
crazy.
did that.
I wish I would have had my camera up for that.
I didn't think spit takes were real things.
No,
I almost
just
spit
did
out my
it.
coffee when.
Oh,
Did you see? I didn't go.
yeah,
No,
you just did
legit
it.
spit takes don't go.
I've had spit takes before, but you're right. It's what you just did.
That
It's-
almost came out of my nose.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the best.
Nah, I'm glad it didn't.
but like I didn't
Oh,
wait
there's
20
coffee
years.
everywhere. Sorry.
No, you're right. Look at that. Wow. That almost went into the King's drink.
I did.
It might have
I'm
gone
wondering
to
if it did.
I think you'd be able to tell just because of it. You with coffee, if it went in water, you'd be able to tell.
Go on. So Chris Gaines
I
comes
just
in.
didn't, I didn't wait 20 years not to hear Friends in Low Places Live, even though I hate that song on the radio. I haven't listened to it on the radio.
I didn't wait 20 years not to hear this.
Like,
Damn it, Garth.
So,
And he didn't do it?
No. Oh, two. I didn't
Yeah,
wait
he
20
does
years
it.
for him not to play. Like, he better play Friends in Low Places. But then, but on the same hand, I have singers like Pat Green who I've seen a few times. And unfortunately, now I see him, and he doesn't do. You're right. You get those when you know someone enough. Like if you went and saw Pearl Jam, or if you went and saw, like you said, Motley Crue, you would appreciate a set that had shit off the side.
Yeah, but I'm always aware. Like, yeah, sure. Do I want to hear some rare B side off Too Fast for Love? Of course. And they'll sprinkle some of that stuff in there. But I know that people coming to that show want to hear Kickstart My Heart. Like
Right.
it's part of it.
And it's obviously one of the most cliche jokes when it comes to a concert. But when the band gets up there and we're gonna try a new song. That's when everybody goes to get a beer or goes to the bathroom. Nobody wants to fucking go. You want to hear the new song a year, maybe two in, once you've heard it and you like it. You're at that concert that night, drinking a beer, whatever. You want to hear the shit so you can sing.
And if I had any confidence at all that Dylan was going to come to town, strap on an acoustic guitar and do Masters of War and Idiot Win and like play those songs, I'd be the first one in line to go to that show.
Right.
I'd give anything to go to that show. But I know the reality of that is less than zero.
Right.
So it's like, the artist wants to come through and show us how sweet his band is. I just don't have much interest in that. I've tried a couple times and whatever, it's fine.
Like I said, if I'd seen him before, I don't think it'd be. I just think that he is one of those people as a fan of music. He's one of those people that I look at now. He's coming. We're not doing, we don't do night shows. I can go to this, and I think it'd be, for me personally, I don't.
So even if it's not a good show, you can come out of it saying, "Hey, I saw."
Yeah,
I can
think
tell
so.
people now I saw.
I think
Dylan.
so. I think that's something. Personally,
Yeah, there's something weird about.
Well, dude,
that,
what can I do
Yeah.
about it? I can't go back and see his good shit. I can't go back and see him in 1970,
1960 something
or whatever.
I understand. I just don't understand where the value is, though. Even if it sucks to be able to go, I saw Dylan. He
I like
sucked,
it.
but I saw it.
I like
Yeah.
it. Well, there is to me. I guess that's all.
And maybe it'll
personal
surprise you. I'm trying to remember.
And
It's
maybe it
been
will
so
be. Maybe
long
it'll be
since I saw
okay. I don't
Dylan.
know.
I think there were a couple songs that you knew.
I think if he's saying one song out of that, then maybe he won't. But if he's
No,
saying,
he will.
Okay,
He did when I saw him, but it was like I say, it wasn't the version you're used to hearing. It's the
Yeah.
only problem. It's got a band behind it. It's like those songs. The power behind those songs was gotten
Then one dude sitting
from
there.
one dude with an acoustic guitar singing into a microphone. Like that's where the power in those comes from. So I don't know.
Do you think he'll do any of his son's Wallflower songs? One Headlight.
One Headlight.
I actually
Song
like
about
that
what?
song, dude.
I don't know.
Come on, think. One Headlight. What would that be about?
I don't know, but I like the
Like it's
song.
a motorcycle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a reference to a motorcycle.
I actually,
Jacob Dylan, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like any of their other stuff. I don't know any of their stuff, but I like that song. What's weird is like in Specs when we played some of those tapes back of me, being a stupid fake DJ.
Kid Rock.
Yes. But before we went into these other parts, we only had like the first semester, we only had these small practice shows that we did, and you only got to play like 8 songs. And there was after you got to do finally a little other stuff, but 8 songs. So for like half of that time, we heard the same 8 songs. Like on Friday, you do 10 practice shows in a day or whatever, and these same fucking 8 songs. And anytime I hear those songs, I can't even. I can't stand it. And that was one of them. But I actually have liked that one now.
Well, if this show ever does anything like remarkable, I mean, Jay, 20 years from now, you'll be smacking a gavel somewhere declaring that the crown is spoken. You'll just have to.
Yeah,
like it'll be part of the show. As much as you'll hate it,
right.
We'll have to bring out some special.
The crown is spoken. Like, what if we got big enough that we were doing some shows, out of state, and you're gonna have to like sit there and like in some stupid version of the State Theater.
We're coming up to that part in the set where Jay's got to put the powdered wig on and declare the crown is spoken order,
and you're gonna fucking hate it. You're right. Like
we'll have a checklist. The crown speaks. At this point, it'll be one of our encores, obviously.
Right.
Does the crown? Do we have to do the crown is spoken tonight?
But
really?
These idiots out there will be like, "It's been big enough."
Mike, we're gonna need you on 5 minutes, and you're on in 5 minutes to do the Chinaman. Damn it! I hate the fucking China. I don't want to.
Please don't make me do that.
That's why I was
give anything to not do the Chinaman no more. Please.
That's why, in some way, I always said I was always happy that I lost.
Big
the
E's
pink
or whatever's coming up in 10. E, get ready.
know,
We're gonna need you to come out from
through.
backstage to do go up on stage. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna need a fuck you, Jay, out of you in 10 minutes. E, we need you to take
I
the
think
stage.
the fuck you, Jay, will be a lot easier even down the line than Jay's hammer. Like, because by that point, there'll be much. If there's already. But by that point, there'll be so much inner resentment amongst us that me being able to say
we'll
fuck
hate each
you.
other. Jay will be pounding on my door. It's time for Look at the Proofs. It's time for Look at the Proofs. Fuck Look at the Proofs. I'm not doing it tonight. Go out and do it without me. You can do Look at the Proofs.
Right. And dude, the fuck Jay will be, dude, if you think it's easy now, it'll be like then it will be, it'll actually get stronger because there'll be real solid emotion.
The only
behind
contact
it.
we'll have is when we slam shoulders as we pass each other backstage in the hallways.
Right.
Give me a good fuck you, Jay.
I can't do it just on the,
you gotta learn, dude. The
get your-
crowd expects it.
Get your body. You start to bounce up and down.
No, fuck you, Jay. Fuck you, Jay. That's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit.
Come on, E.
I can't do that.
You gotta piss him off. You gotta piss him off, Jay.
I'm not a thespian.
No, you're not. You're not going to do well on the tour. You're not going to sell many "fuck you, Jay" T-shirts with that attitude.
Like I said, down that
"fuck you, Jay" tour of 2026. Not going to be a big seller. Sorry.
Wow.
The OJ story. We didn't talk yesterday about the knife.
Well, what a game changer.
Yeah. It sounds like this is probably bogus.
Right.
The knife that was found maybe on the property of Rockingham.
Yeah, what's the deal? A construction worker found it and then gave it to a cop, and then the cop sat on it forever. Or he tried to turn it in. They didn't want it or some shit.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, that case is closed. Basically, after, I don't know if it was after OJ was found not guilty, and they were just like, fuck it. We know who the real killer is. But apparently this cop was trying to he had called one of his cop buddies and was like, yeah, can you give me the case number on the Simpson case? Because I want to have it engraved on this knife that was found on the scene. And this cop was like, what? You have a knife that was found on the scene at Rockingham? And so that cop talked to his superiors and was like, dude, this guy claims to have a knife from 20 years ago. And so that's how this all came out. He was just trying to get a case number to engrave on a plaque. He had this knife hanging in his house.
And then the LAPD does a press conference about this thing last week.
Yeah.
This is way too coincidental with the whole People v. OJ FX show going on right now.
So
really
this is
tied to this
technically
somehow.
not supposed to be. I just assumed that's why this was out. I haven't been paying attention to the knife or all this, but I heard the guy on the thing and I just figured, oh, it's because this show is out right now.
If the LAPD hadn't done a press conference, you would absolutely assume, yes, this is tied to that, unquestionably. But the fact that they got the LAPD to do it,
okay, so
I mean, it sort of gives it some legitimacy, although I don't think it's beyond the pale that somebody knows somebody who's tied with FX at the LAPD, and they got him to
Yeah.
drum up some support for this.
There's no doubt in my mind that knife disappeared when OJ went to the airport that night in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's
That's
in a
when that
garbage bin somewhere.
Yes. Like that eyewitness was so credible that was like, look, I saw OJ. He's OJ Simpson. I was picking up my wife at the airport, who worked for one of the airlines. I'm picking her up there, and I see OJ Simpson pull up in a town car or a limousine with this black bag. He drew a picture of the black bag. And he's like, he had it barely open, and he was halfway in the garbage can, and he was pulling shit out and dumping it in. Like, what do you think was going on there?
Mm-hmm.
He was losing evidence. And by the time that story came out and they went to look, I mean, that's in a dump somewhere. It's long gone. But that's probably where that knife, so whatever knife this was, they'll look into it, and I don't know what they're going to get from it, but
you'd think they'd be able to initially just measure it and say whether this could be in the bounds of the size of knife that could even have played a part. But the idea that they're going to get any sort of usable DNA off it,
they said they could.
Thing was like
potentially
under dirt for how many years, and then handled by all these different people, and then like you say, just
kept
by this ex-cop for
18 years or something. Yeah, it's a crazy story. They had the Dateline interview last night, 2-hour special on OJ.
Oh, did you watch that with Marsha?
Yep, I did. I watched it this morning actually. And interesting stuff. I mean, we know so much about that case. There's not a ton, but I still find that it's like 9/11 to me. I'm still so fascinated by the whole circus nature of the OJ Simpson trial, and the FX series, and just of course they dig up Kardashian. They get, or Jenner, what's her name, the mom, Kris Jenner. Yeah, they interview her, and talking about it. Obviously, she thinks OJ's guilty, and just seeing the whole circus unfold again. It's pretty interesting, and I really think you'd like the FX series, Jay. I know I don't know what 4 episodes in now, but it's really compelling viewing if you haven't.
I'll try to check one
it.
out.
Yeah. Because you were really up on that at the time.
Yeah, it was great. I feel bad for people who didn't live through that. That was such an interesting story. It had everything.
I wonder if it's fascinating to people like younger than E, like to a 20-year-old that's like, what is the deal with this OJ thing? Do they look at 9/11 and go, what is that their version of Kennedy or Nixon? To us, we're like, yeah, Watergate. It's just a word. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but doesn't a mystery like the Kennedy assassination interest you? Like you've watched the movies and things like that. And
I haven't really. It sort of does. But yeah, but I've never had that kind of attachment like I did with the OJ trial or 9/11 for sure. Like I don't know. It's just a fascinating story. It's probably because we lived through it, but yeah, good watch last night on Dateline. No breaking news. Marsha thinks he's guilty. Well, what's she gonna say? She kind of threw Darden under the bus for the whole trying on the glove thing, which is still just unbelievable to me. That glove thing, unbelievable. That a lawyer would be like, I mean, and Darden talked about this a few years ago and was like, look, we had experts that said that glove would fit his hand.
I just don't get how meaningful that would be, though. Even let's assume it does. Like we talked about, like you have small, medium, and large gloves, basically. Like so what? It's glove fit, kind of like a generally fitting glove.
Mm-hmm.
At best, right? That's the best case. He puts it on, the jury goes, oh wow, okay, large gloves fits a large man's hands. Cool.
Yeah.
But instead it completely backfired, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand where the great positive was in making him put it on.
Is that just one of the biggest statements at a trial
ever?
Dude,
if it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Do you think I think you
it's one of the great statements in Americana, right?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
dude.
It's pop
Like
culture.
he probably could get laid from that statement alone, I think. Like,
No, he's dead now.
but he could have, I think. From that alone, from making that statement.
He had a few statements like that.
Oh, he was the pimp during that, dude.
Yeah.
Johnny Cochran was a huge part of that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch and listen to.
He was the low speed follow guy, right?
Yeah.
That was him.
It's not a high speed chase. It's a low speed follow.
Yeah, he was great. The division of races too is just, it's so funny how far we have not come as a society. Like watching that whole thing where you could literally split the country only by race, completely down the middle. The cheering and then the crying. It was just like they had a woman last night, fat black lady in LA who's on the street.
Like, is she just a regular person?
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. She's howling, thank you, Jesus, to the heavens because OJ is found not guilty.
And what did that solve, right?
Yeah. But it spoke to the troubling part was none of those people gave a fuck that he was guilty. They knew he was guilty as shit. It just kind of represented a turning of the tide of the system oppressing our people.
Right.
You know, it didn't matter that OJ was so not one of you. OJ got the fuck out of Dodge the second he made more than $2. He never looked back at the black community. I ain't black, I'm OJ.
Yeah.
It's the famous quote from OJ. Never did shit for the community. And that whole staging of the house just seems like, how is that legal?
Yeah, when they had the jury go through.
Yeah, they talked about that last night.
And didn't Cochran put some of his own personal art in there, like African American themed art?
Yep.
And then they definitely put up pieces of OJ's family, photographs of
him with his mom,
his family.
Yeah, they took down all the pictures. He had pictures plastered all over the wall of like naked Barbieri, the chick he was dating, like naked white bitches. Him, every picture he only hung out with white people, so every picture he's in is like him and 2 white bitches hanging on the wall, like him and his white golfing buddies. And they took every one of those down and put like African art statues, pictures of him and his mom next to his bedstand. Like, and it's like, how is that not tainting the evidence? Like, this isn't portraying what really happened. And they're like, well, it's just like cleaning a house. You know, you're going to show the house, you put some flowers in it, you clean the place up. That's all we did.
Yeah, I can't believe Ito let that happen. Because, you know, there's huge argument over every little piece, every little step of that trial. It took like 2 years because every little piece was contested.
Yeah.
So, you know, that thing was thought through a million times, motions all over the place as to how this is going to occur.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing that happened.
When you reference it, that's what always gets, I forget, because I do remember it happening, but when you reference the fact that it lasted years, that's when it really gets me, where I don't even realize how, like, I remember it happening, but
I always say that years. How long was it? Maybe I'm overstating.
The trial itself was 8 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the lead up, you know, and then everything after with the civil trial and all that, it went dovetailed right into all that shit.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it happened in 94, 95 was the trial.
Though, but
and he was in jail for 15.
TV,
he was in jail though for 15 months, I think, before the trial. So I mean, it literally was a couple years.
Yeah.
And that circus started right away. I mean, that was immediate. Where people were, I mean, when the low speed follow was going on, remember the streets lined with people with signs.
The NBA playoffs or whatever.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Finals.
I do remember watching it was a Knicks game, right? The Knicks were playing. I don't know who, but
they got the little screen at the bottom where they had just a low speed follow going on down the 5 freeway in Los Angeles. Yeah, it was
run, juice, run.
Yeah, all those people chasing his car to his house, and yeah, it was a circus like none other. And yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something else, but whatever. But yeah, it was a long ass trial. And the point you kind of touched on a little bit, Jay. The point of the defense was, and they talk about this in the FX series, if it can be believed, but they said their point was to everything, every minor piece of evidence they bring in, have an objection to, and fight about it. Let's fight everything that they bring to us. Like, they couldn't get through a single question without objection, Your Honor. Objection. It's like, Jesus Christ, we're just trying to establish his name, for Christ's sake.
It was brutal to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And that was on like regular TV too, right? It wasn't just cable, like regular
I
channel
think that's
2
what
would be
put court TV on the map, was all their commentary about it. But yeah, I think it was
wasn't
like
it
on
on
channel 7 or something.
and it'd be on just like 9 in the morning to like
I don't remember,
3 in the
dude.
afternoon. Or
a lot of the cable channels, like Larry King, had wall-to-wall OJ coverage. Geraldo Rivera had wall-to-wall coverage, but I don't know what channel was it.
I remember
was it
being
what
on,
we know as Fox News at the time, or CNN? Would
I
have been
feel like
around,
I do remember it being on regular. Maybe I'm wrong though, but it was on every day though, right?
Yeah, you could watch it every day if you wanted to.
CNN, you can put CNN's success to the story of the girl in the well. That was the first time that they went fuck it, we're putting people on the ground and with cameras, and we're going to cover this story literally 24 hours until it's fine. And they got huge ratings, and it was like, haha, look what we did. And so that put that kind of thing on them. Usually that would have just been like an update on your 6 o'clock news, where they went live and you had this riveting real-time story developing. You've got a child in a well that's trapped.
Small that opening was.
Yeah, they had to dig. Didn't they have to dig down
next to it,
and then send some firemen down to scoop her
How
up.
did she sneak down that? Like, I don't remember. I do remember that though. I don't remember probably again as much as you guys necessarily, but I remember that situation and I remember the well. You're right. Just this.
She has just been standing perfectly.
Oh, think about
together,
how horrifying that would
torpedo.
be for a kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Claustrophobia kicks in after 2 seconds.
Oh, and then you're there for 25 hours, whatever it was, 2 days. Crazy. Speaking of claustrophobia kicking in, this poor China woman.
Elevator.
Yeah. A couple Chinese maintenance workers are facing charges in the death of this woman. She was trapped in an elevator for a month.
What?
She hung on as long as she could.
They say she starved to death.
Oh boy,
dude!
Wait
Imagine
a minute, what? A month?
Starving to death in an elevator.
Oh,
Where is she?
On the
talk
list
about a
of-
wailing Chinaman.
Yeah, right. That's kind of like the wailing Chinaman. Please, carving his mom's name in his arm. That son of a bitch. The elevator apparently became stuck between like the 10th and 11th floors in this building in the city of Jin in January 30th. Servicemen called to deal with the broken cable, banged on the door, and they're like, they didn't hear shit, so just shut it down. And they just killed power to it.
What?
Well, we didn't hear nothing. See you later. Bye-bye.
No objection.
Yeah.
So they just didn't. What about fixing it in general? Was
So
it not needed?
They didn't hear any meek woman inside screaming like, help, help. So they just cut the power to the elevator and said, use a different rift to all the other residents. So use a different one.
We'll
Good.
get to it when we get to it.
We'll get there when we get there. Her hands were distorted. There were scratches on the wall. It was horrible.
That would be the worst. That might be the worst. That might be the worst because you'd be in there because you're in the box of this room.
And you know people are right. Just
You know
one
it. You
floor
just
up
be
and-
banging on that thing as loud as you could.
The case against these guys is that the servicemen should have opened the door to check before shutting power down.
Yes.
I reckon.
Yes. Or
Um,
fix it in a month. I mean,
she lived by herself in the building. I guess she was 43 years old. And terrible.
43 lives by herself.
She's not 100.
No, that's not. what I
She
was
died by herself too, unfortunately, in an elevator.
That's not what I
Surrounded
meant.
by
She
loved
She
ones.
left all 5 of her cats back in her apartment.
saying. Or two. 43.
Yeah,
by
cats probably
herself.
starved out too.
Yeah.
Oh, how does that
That's-
happen?
that's-
That no, the house. That's dude. That's what would happen to me though.
That's what I was
Like, there's-
trying to get at. I don't know if I guess you didn't.
We
understand.
understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's seriously like if you don't have people that are expecting you,
Right.
or like if you don't show up at home, eventually, I don't know,
It wouldn't be
in
that
2
long,
hours.
right.
I mean, you would be stuck in an elevator for like 2 hours before we would go like, Jay should be accounted for.
Mhm.
Like, again, if this happened on a Thursday after the show,
Exactly.
it could literally be like you guys would
If
probably
Beth
get
was
through
working
Sunday.
that
You would,
weekend,
you guys could even do the show without me.
We'd be like, that
I
son of a
don't know.
bitch isn't checking my tweets or my emails.
Yeah, and then I'd just be expiring in an elevator.
How long do you think you could last?
An hour,
No,
Probably.
Really. How long, Mike?
in an elevator. Like, dude, honestly,
well, the problem is, what are you going to do? Are you talking about just before he killed him? Before what would he have to do? Run his head into the wall, I guess, or
When would his life force give out?
well, that
gone.
That would be out
Um,
very early, but
Dude, I'd probably starve out after 10 hours.
Mhm.
I'd be starving. Oh, I'd be so hungry. Oh, I'd be so hungry. How long do you think I
Would you
could
eat
last?
your own feces?
No. I
I
might
give you a
write,
couple days.
I might write messages in feces all over the wall though. When they open the elevator, they just see like horrible shit like that I would have normally tweeted, written all over the wall, complete with hashtags and @ symbols too,
nice.
No more than 140 characters.
in each smeared sentence. Yeah, obviously.
Poor woman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
Tough
that
way to
would
go.
That would be
seriously, you
that'd
got to
be
question
really
every
bad.
lift system in China right now. In China,
China.
something's going on over there.
Don't make fun of our RIF system.
that would
I'm a
be
bird
so
at that.
bad. How long did you think? Did they predict how long she lasted before she? I know they said it was.
She was in there a month, dude.
Yeah, what can you go without water? Like 5 or 6 days or something?
Something like that.
Well, the whaling Chinaman in San Diego went, 7 days or 6 days without food or water? Didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't they give him like $7 million?
deserved
or
every
something?
penny.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you declared it was
Every
not
penny.
a frivolous lawsuit.
No, it was not. He was carving his mom's name in his forearm.
Yeah, that happens.
Please.
Somebody help, please. Stuck in jail here.
It looks like only a few days. 3 days,
I couldn't make it 3 days. Do you think I could make it 3 days?
3 weeks without food.
Yeah,
You could go 3 weeks without food.
Looks like, I think this is just kind of an initial Google search.
The Wee Witch. The Wee Witch went like 9 months with just scraps of pizza crust.
But just something. I think you just need something.
Yeah.
I'm talking. You're talking
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got plenty stored. I mean, you could.
Despite
cheap shot.
it does say in this.
See what
like,
you do with their body shaming.
Despite this
Hope you're proud of
possibly
yourself. I'm an easy target.
Some people have survived 8 to 10 days without water. So you could
There's
go
that range
right,
between 4 and 8 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Just maybe depending on how much you had already drinking that day or whatever.
Oh my God, I'd hope I'd be 4, not 8.
It wouldn't be good. If you
way
made it
worse.
This
to
is
make it
not
8
one
days.
where you want to make it to. If you're gonna die, assuming like this chick, her destiny unfortunately was to die here. You wanted to die as soon as possible. You do not want to.
Yeah, obviously. But,
nice declaration. There.
I just wanted to say that for the record.
did you guys see Peyton Manning's calling it a career finally?
As he should.
Yeah, he should have 2 years ago, but
Well, not really. Looks like.
well,
Worked
yeah,
out okay for him.
yeah, you got a
I
great
mean-
team. I probably could have led that team to a Super Bowl championship this year. But yeah, he's calling it a career.
Yeah, but
No
he
shocks
gets that
there.
though. I'm not saying he needed to be there, but for him, he gets another ring.
What
Yeah.
was the deal? He would have had $19 million kick in today if he wasn't cut or he
Yeah,
didn't leave the team, retire.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer. I mean, he could
I
have
wonder if he
done
wanted
what
to-
with like Favre did, hook up
Right.
with the Jets or some shit for a year, and
yeah.
I don't know.
Do you
It
want-
was the best move by him to avoid all that scrutiny that
That's the other thing.
would have furthered had he stayed with the whole neck and was the growth hormone.
Yeah.
Right.
Was-
But I wonder if
And that story is still hanging on there.
Yeah, but
That-
it would
that
be,
story
it
is
would be
not
really
going away.
catching steam had he signed up for another year.
But I wonder if he wanted to. And John Elway was like, look, dude, I'm not trying to be, but if you come back, all power to you, make your decision. But if you come back, we're cutting you. We're not paying. And maybe that, I wonder if that would have pressured him not, you know what I mean? Not wanting to go, like
They'd
you
never
said,
say that.
go to a shitty team. They could. I could see that happening. A meeting like that.
No, they'd never say that in public.
No, that's of
They'd
course
never let
not.
you know
Of
that in
course
public.
not. And that's my point. That's why maybe you said that this was the day that the money was going to kick in.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why it happened now, finally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
But he did say to after that championship game, remember that was caught on tape talking to Brady's to Belichick.
Might be my last
This
rodeo.
might be my last rodeo. I mean, he was hinting around at it. I would have been shocked if he would have done
Right. Oh, I
anything
know.
other than leave.
That's
I mean,
the
it-
best way to do it, man. How could you, at the age he is, and with all he's done, to leave on a Super Bowl title? Like, I don't know why. I can't
No
believe that
brainer.
for a second you would think the other way. To me,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Yeah. What else do you have to prove? What's the point?
Well, it's all about stake.
I mean, at
But
that
some
age,
people want
what
to
is-
still fear that people like. Are you after you're out of the spotlight? People care more. I think to get to that thing where that's a big deal to some people.
Whole identity is wrapped up with throwing a football. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I
plus
could
it's-
see the competitive juices about it, like knowing when you're done. It's not like I'm going to take some time to myself and then maybe I'll come back in 5 years and resume my
Yeah, it's not like
career as a whatever.
It's not like an actor where you could maybe, you could come back at any age and an actor or something
Sure.
like that.
It'd be hard to turn off the spigot because he's like, well, I could. Yeah,
That's what it said.
they're gonna cut me. I got to get out of this situation.
But
But somebody will
someone
pay
will
me
pay
$7
me.
million.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly not about the money. Certainly not.
Did you cough?
Hello?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, Mike.
What
We've
happened?
lost Mike.
Oh my God. Someone wants me to
Lost
shut
Mike's
up.
Mike.
It must
fine.
be the
What the
government.
hell happened
Where's the
there?
black helicopters? Or is
Trying
that
to shut-
Jay?
they're trying
Or
to
that-
shut you up, dude.
Yeah, they
Or
are.
were you going off script and Jay was starting?
Oh no. You found out about Jay's emergency button over there that kills
Right.
my mic. Shit.
Is there 2 cough buttons over here?
Did you see that 2 brothers won the lottery on the same day?
I saw that story. I don't get it, man. They both played the same numbers. They win it, and then tell the story.
Well, is that what happened? 2 Pennsylvania brothers both won the lottery on the same day. District judge, as soon as I hear it, it's like, oh, a district judge won it. God damn it.
Are you?
James Stockless, he's 67. He
Oh,
discovered
come on.
he and 2 friends won the $291 million
Come on.
jackpot Friday.
God damn it.
After he was on a floor in Florida, the Keys on a fishing vacation with
You
some buddies.
Son of a bitch. I'm
And-
pissed.
The same day, his brother Bob also bought a ticket. but it wasn't until James had returned to Pennsylvania that he discovered his big win. So one brother wins $291 million with two of his friends.
Okay, then the other brother wins in a different state.
Yeah, wins $7 million in a lottery.
Oh, okay.
And so they're both standing there. One's holding a check for $291 million. The other's holding one for $7 million.
Fuck these people.
Sons of bitches.
District judge, fucking old white dude down in Florida. He doesn't need $200 million.
That is crazy. The two brothers went in the same. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
That is that.
And
wow.
one's a district judge. You're like, dude, come on.
Doesn't mean they're rich. You guys are like
I
judge
know.
and judge.
I know, but you know he's doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, a
He's down in
district judge
Florida
isn't
on a
like
fishing
hurting for
trip.
cash. He's gonna each of those winners.
Keep
So
his
the three
jobs.
of them will pocket $40 million after taxes and all that
She's
shit.
gonna keep judging.
My guess would be no. He's kind of huge too. He's got a hell of a gut on him. So I don't know.
What's his name? I only care now. You say he's fat.
James Stockless, Stocklas. I saw him at like a restaurant sitting down. I was like, ooh.
See what we got here. Here's that image of both them.
Both brothers standing with their big checks.
Yeah, it looked like. How come? God damn it! The story on Google showed that. Now a different picture showed up.
I've completely lost my mind.
I see.
Here they are. I didn't do shit to his thing. Oh shit! Yeah, he's a large man.
You see him there?
You can't tell in this one, but I think this is him over here.
They're two just big white fisherman looking guys.
Oh, I
couple
know.
Kittermans.
Oh yeah, look at that gut. Oh boy.
Yeah.
He's got what size of robe is that?
Well, I've lost my mic completely.
Strange. Brand new mics.
Brand new. It's the connection. It's got to be the connection. I don't know why, but I'm talking.
We're
to
gonna
the
fight through this. Mike.
engineer Mike. Well, let's get to email. What do we got for email?
We do have some email, Mike.
What do we got?
Before we get to that,
Oh my god! Look at that gut.
Let me see.
Just hanging right there, like that little muffin top over the belt.
There's one I saw at a restaurant where he's sitting at a restaurant. It's just like Jabba the Hutt like. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't mean to body shame him. That's rude.
That doesn't look like that might be the same one.
No,
that's just another fat dude that won the lottery.
this email
right.
segment is brought to you by our buddy Mark Leibovitz. Does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money is working as hard as you are. Call today. Tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation, 248-626-2000, and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Mike Howard writes in, Dear Jag, Fag, and Cult Leader, just finished 531.
Jag, Fag, and Cult Leader. I'll take Cult Leader. What's Jag?
Take Jag. It's a attorney in the service.
Okay.
And then he'd be Fag.
As in like the TV show Jag?
Yeah, and he'd be the Fag.
Oh, gotcha.
Just finished 531. Oh, he's a bit behind. He knows. Three things. Mike, in reference to the assload of weapons the Kazu shooter possessed, cash is pronounced cash. So cash with a accented E is pronounced cash.
What did I say? Cache, weapons cache.
Probably.
I don't get it. What did I do wrong?
You pronounced it cache. It's cash.
Oh,
according to Howard.
Okay,
Howard wants you to know. Also, in reference,
believe, but CACHE is cache.
I think that's cash too. I actually have heard it both ways. CACHE.
It's a weapons cache.
I've definitely heard both.
Are you serious?
Yes. Maybe you have a Google machine sitting in front of you and you could look it up.
Matter. I don't know the fucking.
Why would someone irresponsibly throw an E at the end of it if they didn't want it to be used?
I don't write the words, Mike. I just pronounce them.
I know, but if he's going to call me out on it, cache is a word. I believe it was CACHE, as in weapons cache.
Also, in reference to the conversation about faking still having a job / still being enrolled in school, Miguel gave the king a pass, stating that he never did that. Really? Didn't we have to have an on-air reveal to Paul about the king not working at the firm anymore? I do remember that conversation.
Wow.
We're talking about showing up for job or making your parents think you had a job.
Yes.
And I was totally thinking of as a kid.
Yes.
It never occurred to me that I did the very same thing to my father-in-law.
But you were very devious about it. You just avoided the conversation and you didn't.
I never lied.
You never lied. You wanted to make that very, very clear that you never lied to him.
Jay, how's the firm? Oh, I'm sure it's well. It's quite well.
Did anybody at the firm give you shit about your beard?
No.
No, as a matter of fact,
Nobody at the firm has done that. I never lied. Number 3.
Hold on.
Is this the right spelling that you
Yeah.
Cash.
Are you shitting me?
Cash.
Are there other examples of how to say that word?
I've heard other people say cachet, Mike.
Cachet.
In the context of like the cachet in a computer, like the whatever you call it. I don't know, the bin, the cachet. I've heard people say that.
Yeah.
But I've definitely heard cash more.
So you'd have to put cash in a cache?
Oh, Mike. Number 3, Big Magic Johnson. What has he done?
What has he done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson. What has he done? He's got AIDS.
I didn't give him those AIDS.
And when he had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
I think Howard just wanted to hear those drops.
Yeah. Those AIDS will never get old. You could play those AIDS reference in
And when
30
he
years.
had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
When he had those cancer, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
Those AIDS.
Those AIDS.
Jordan writes in,
As if he's got a staff with him. He's got a staff of his closest aides.
Right.
Jordan writes in, Jay's mouthpiece, the real owner of the DCast, and the 5th letter. Ooh, I like that. So I was stopping to get coffee in the Starbucks drive-thru last week while listening to your fine program as you were discussing the pigmen. I rolled down my window and the Starbucks girl gives a friendly, "Welcome to Starbucks. What can I start for you today?" The DCast streaming through my radio at a volume that likely could be heard through the drive-thru mic declared, "Naked erect penis." Starbucks girl, "Excuse me?" Me ignoring the obvious, large black coffee. I was on the business end of a very disapproving look from the emo Starbucks chick. It didn't help that I was laughing so hard I could barely breath. Take care, guys. Jordan.
Yeah.
We've had several people claim that that's occurred at the drive-through.
Dude, I swear to God, when I'm listening to a morning show, if I'm listening to Howard Stern or Opie and Anthony back in the day, if I go through a drive-through, I will absolutely pause it. I'll just pause it. I'm not going to do that where I'm going through it and you just don't know when someone's going to just declare something and it's like, yeah, who knows what race sensitive topic is being discussed or,
or who's getting banged up the ass.
Yep.
Like that right there.
Or
Getting
who's got
banged up the ass.
Who's got what looks like a purple knot for a taint. I know. It's disaster.
Purple
zones.
knot?
It's you got to see it again.
No, I don't want to smell your
quick.
fart. I don't want to smell your fart.
It's like this weird like explosion of roast beef and hair, and then there's like a purple like what looks like a scar tissue. Yeah, there you go. Jay, take a look at that. You'll see the purpleness of it. He's trying to don't you realize if you look with one eye, you're still seeing. You can't just close one eye and I only saw half of it. See that?
gross.
Look at that purple thing that leads to that black hole. It's
I can't even look at it, dude.
look at it. Look at it. It's your birthday. Come on.
That
You owe
is
it to
the
yourself.
grossest nether region ever. That's got to be stock footage by her to just get this guy off her trail.
Next time Kadog
It's
is
gotta
here,
be.
we'll have him do that Google
That-
image
yeah.
search thing that he does where it's like
You can
'cause
find it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the photos that pops up under Blue Waffle.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because you could see some douchebag going, send me a pussy shot. And they're like, yeah, I'll send you one. Check it out. And sending that mess.
Totally.
Yeah.
Dave writes in, thin one, the peanut butter king and the one who can't complete a sentence. Eric, now that you have, quote, mastered the speaking into the mic, please speak in a complete sentence.
Nope.
It's so aggravating trying to listen to you trying to speak. That's all. Good day.
Come on, go easy on him. It's his birthday.
Yeah. Show some sympathy.
Scott writes in.
Christ, the kid was nearly strangled to death by his own mother's umbilical cord.
Yeah, that's what this
39
is.
short years
This is
ago.
the anniversary of my almost murder.
Oh, imagine his mother being sliced just above the mons pubis and that emerging.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the world. What'd you get me for my birthday and shit? Wah and shit or whatever. Wah or whatever. Wah or whatever. I got a shit.
Scott's on the other side of the spectrum. He says, through the iPad, dude.
Yeah, just like how we can read your text down here
Yeah.
when you get
Whenever you get texts, I read them.
I know.
I
that's
sometimes respond to them.
disturbing.
You could probably go
I
in
need
there
to
and turn it off.
remove that from you.
Middich writes in, hey, fellas, I was wondering
Damn
if you
it.
guys were
You know what it is, by the way? It's we haven't beat on E as much as we usually do. That's what they're noticing.
Really?
Yes. Because I've noticed it too.
I don't feel that.
I've noticed E has been more on point lately, and he's taken less of a sound beating. There was a real string there for a month or two, Jay, where you were just hammering it. You were bringing the fucking gavel down on E's head.
I don't know about that.
And that's where you're going to get the fuck you, Jay, and all that shit. But he rolls with it better when we don't just kill him for everything. I think that's what people are hearing.
We should start hammering again. Mid-Detroit said, hey, fellas, I was wondering if you guys were still keeping up with Massey. I just checked out his YouTube channel, and he posted a David Bowie tribute. Granted, this is a few weeks ago, covering his song Heroes. While watching the video, I was reading the comments, and someone posted a link to episode 451, the Massey episode. Seems someone was looking for some background about Massey, and the link was there. Very cool. Though the video caught me off guard at first because Massey was completely shorn. Check it out. He's also posted a lot of new content. Episode 451 is still the only TDC episode that I keep on my phone and re-listen to often. Actually, Massey, we've been in contact with Massey. He's got some good stuff coming up, and continues to churn out some good covers, man. So definitely follow him on Twitter and
Instagram,
his YouTube channel as well.
Yep, his Pantheon.
Yeah, I think that's the way he's doing it now. Maybe.
Yeah. We've been in talks with Mike about doing something again, and so we'll see where that goes. But yes, we have not lost touch with Mr. Massey. He's brilliant. I see his new videos. He did an Alice in Chains one recently that was just like, holy shit.
Yep.
Just tailor-made for his voice, doing Lane Staley. So very, very cool.
Hey, we'll save the rest for tomorrow, Miguel.
All right. Well, let's call it a day there if you don't mind, Jay. If you want to
take us out of broadcasty.
What did you just pot? You just potted up a mini disc player and a DVR, E.
Okay, well, I can see you.
Friggin' retard.
It's his birthday, Jay. He was almost choked out to death 39 years ago. Relax. All right, we'll call it a day there. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit. Listen to the guy, watch you grow, you know.